Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSports. We are your daily dose of cricket handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christensen, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor. And what a fun way to learn about the money line rules at your sports books for tennis yesterday afternoon. Miss Anna Kalinskaya wins the first set, goes up 2 games in the second, and Miss Halep quickly retires. I know some people did cash. If you had a bet online ticket, that was actually where I was. So I got lucky enough to cash it. But I got some sad messages and condolences to everybody. But not losing's fine.
And that was one too where you could say like know the rules or where you're betting. I don't think we even considered Halep a retirement risk. Like that was odd. It was a bit odd, but yeah, good fair play by Kalinskaya. She has another winnable match tomorrow morning, and or I'm not sure when it is. The timing of these has been all over the place, but yeah, that was a fun match and almost had another one. Went to a third set tiebreaker. That was a lot of fun yesterday. And uh, don't know her name. Pendlick. What the fuck is
Oh,
her name?
Mandlik.
Mandalik. Yeah, person I've never heard of. But the 5.5 was a laugher. That got there. So good job to
Yeah,
her. Good job to a lot of these tennis players. And yeah, it's oh, I had a winner. Cressy
I know.
drops the first set, comes back, and all you have to do is make it into that third set, and it's like running the mile against a guy who's only trained to run 3/4 of a mile. Jack Sock was done dealing. I think it was a six. That might have been a third set bageling. I It was either 6-0 or 6-1. Either way, he trucked him in the third set. I just needed the a 2-game win in the third set was all we needed to get that handicap home because I did pay the extra money to what was it? Pay the 1.5 despite saying I wanted to find a 2, which now yeah, it was a bagling. So 6-4, 4-6, 0-6. Quite the score line. Very WTA-ish there with a weird third set. Good job to us. We're back with some more tennis. I'm even playing some more ATP. I've really enjoyed watching
I like
this late
ATP,
night stuff.
Andy.
Well, I enjoy
It's a good
watching
color
this
on you.
the North American part of the like ATP schedule definitely not the most prestigious. It's not even the most prestigious part of being in North America. Like winning in California and Florida at the Sunshine Double, those are way bigger wins than probably. I mean, Cincinnati and whatever we have, Toronto or Montreal, those are 1,000s, but I think those don't get the shine that the early season stuff does. So I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it. And this morning, I'm watching some golf. And I've got 2 bets for today. One of them did go off already this morning. And if I run that one back later, tomorrow, it'll probably be on the show tomorrow. So I won't even talk about it in case we do the thing where they started in the morning and now it's an afternoon one and I'm playing it again. But later on today, Taylor Pendrith will take on the golf course. I wonder if these guys ever know who they're matched up. Like, there's got to be one or two of these golfers who like bet on golf, and like, no, I wonder if they go check. Like, who do the sports books have me matched up with in my matchups? Because I would be if I was a professional golfer, I would be interested in knowing that. Like I was saying the other day on VSIN, I was annoyed when I have this list of guys I'm ready to fade. It's the same thing, I suppose, with tennis. You know, Alex, if you have a girl coming in, it's like, hey, she's probably a fade on this surface, coming off a different surface, or coming off this tournament. And then you go look at the draw, and it's like, well, shit. There's like no way I can bet against her in probably the first 3 matches, and then she's done anyway. It's annoying. And that happened with Chris Goddard. I really wanted to fade him. He goes up against another guy I wanted to fade, and Cam Champ, I believe, and they're both struggling. So good stay away for me, I guess. I saved
I've
some money
always
by
been
not betting that.
surprised the way they do the matchups, that it's not always people that play together. It kind of blows my mind. I feel like if I was setting these lines, I would only ever match guys that were in the same threesome.
Yeah, and 3 balls to be fair, that is what they do. But yeah, with these matchups, it's often it's often just guys who are near each other in the odds and close enough in the for the dailies. You got to be pretty close. Like they don't love
I guess that's
offering
easier
the
to set
morning,
lines for.
yeah, morning afternoon stuff is when we used to have 5 dimes, that used to be a thing where if they offered because full tournament matchups, there is plenty of this where hey, this guy tees off at 8, the other guy tees off at 2 p.m. because you have 72 holes to settle it, and a lot of times that evens out. But 5 dimes was bound and determined that if they offered a full tournament matchup, they were going to offer a round one matchup. And every once in a while, you'd have the weather where it's like, shit, there's going to be a 2 stroke difference, and you can just blindly bet all those. But no, for the most part, these matchups are guys who are near the same tee time. Today, looking these guys for me will start at 12:27 and 12:49. Since it's in North Carolina, I'm guessing that's local, so probably about an hour when Taylor Pendrith does tee off here. 12:27 p.m. Eastern would be his tee time. I have him laying the half stroke over Ricky Fowler. I made this a really big favorite. There was a lot of things I didn't love about Fowler. That's kind of been an ongoing thing, but form sucks. Accuracy off the tee, greens and regulation, all that sucks. Like course fit, good enough, but still middle of the pack in a field like this is not good. And that's where I have him for course fit. So I had him pretty low. And Taylor Pendrith is a guy I've backed here and there. I'm glad I mean, it was one of those where he is coming off a really good tournament. Sometimes it's a little sketchy. A guy like this who doesn't have the win equity, doesn't have some big wins or big finishes coming off a big tournament like he had. But man, he just matches up so well with this course. And Taylor Pendrith is somebody I expect to use probably in a few matchups. If his odds were 50, 60 to 1, so he's going to get matched up with guys similarly. And obviously coming off a really good tournament, form's great, and then his fairway accuracy and his fits really, really something I like this week. So laid the half stroke and still paying. It is still a little bit juicy, but just that one for this afternoon. I'll have some more probably tomorrow.
I can dig it. I'm excited to see who I have on the other side. And yeah, Fowler, it seems to be like one of your best baits. You've been going against him quite a bit. Pendrith was great last week. So
yeah. Ricky. And then Wyndham. Oh shit. I didn't even see that. I didn't look at the sheet. I didn't know we were doing this. Is this today or is this tomorrow morning in Washington?
One's today, one's tomorrow.
All right. I won't spoil the fun, but there's I know some other people who've bet the San Jose bet too, so I'm kind of excited about this one.
This afternoon in San Jose, nothing in Washington for me today. Everything looks just about right. If you're itching maybe for some action in Washington, the totals have started to balance out a little bit, but maybe Teresa Martin Sova is plus 300, plus 5 games against Vika Azarenka. I was close to betting that. I ended up passing on it. I had it closer to 4.5 and maybe like 260 or so. So a little bit of an edge, but not enough to play. But in San Jose this afternoon, or maybe tonight, let me double check. This will be tonight. This is the closer. It'll be probably 10 o'clock, honestly, Eastern time. Probably fall asleep while I'm watching this tonight. Coco Gauff goes up against Naomi Osaka. Gauff a favorite, which, if you've been under a rock for about a year and a half or so, would be really surprising. I mean, Naomi Osaka, former world number 1, multiple Grand Slam champion, one of the best, if not best, hardcourt players in the game, has really leveled off, has been playing a lot less tennis, and Gauff continues to get better and better and show us consistency in a really high level, and makes perfect sense to me that she's favored here, and I would have her as a bigger favorite. Instead of playing the minus 134, though, saw more value here in the game spread. Looks like she's listed minus 1.5, minus 2 most places. If you could sell out to a 2.5 and a 3, which, a lot of the legal books will offer a half game line, so you should be able to find that 2.5 at any regulated spot. Bookmaker, I think, has this line. Bovada has this line. A handful of the offshores will let you sell half a game here and there. So, yeah, Gauff minus 2.5 at plus really anything. Looks like a really nice bet to me. Sell out to 3 if you want. If she gets through this match, I think it's going to be a very comfortable win, even in 3 sets. Something like a 6-3, 3-6, 6-3. We're still going to cover this. I love this short number, and especially when it's at plus money. So give me Gauff here against Naomi Osaka. And then tomorrow morning, like you said, I'm just going to keep back in Anna Kay here. She played some great tennis against Halep, really bullied her off the court. And who knows whether Halep was injured or not. But just kind of decided to give up. And I think tomorrow again we're looking at a match against Kaya Kanepi, and this number's on the move. Kudos to our buddy Vinny, who was actually able to get close to plus 200 on the money line in this 3.5 games, actually at plus money. So a lot of CLB for him, but I think this number honestly might keep moving. Callan Sky, I have this closer to plus 130 or so. So even a plus 170, I like this quite a bit. The 3.5 games at standard juice, I had this closer to 2.5, maybe in a juicy three, something like that. So 3.5 at standard juice, the plus 170. These are great conditions for her, and she has a chance, I think, to win a couple of more matches here. So give me her over Kanepi. Goff will be this afternoon. Callan Skaya tomorrow. Could be as early as noon.
I'm down. I like my some golf, and yeah, I think yeah, you're right. Vinny did play some Kalinskaya as well. He's one that is perfectly fine hitting some pinnacle openers, and it's not often that. And if you watch the deep dive at all, he was our German friend. It's not Suma that we had on the show the other day talking about a few different things. And yeah, he is not often wrong when he hits an early line. It usually goes that just one direction. He does crush some CLV. And also, yeah, shop around. This was something that came to mind today because I also had one I liked quite a bit, and I saw a little value in ATP Andy hitting the Washington D.C. streets again. I shouldn't play stupid parlays. I'm much better at just straight plays. That Friday play was just terrible right off the bat. But a guy
Fading
I
the
had
guy we
back,
bet yesterday.
yeah, and that's part of my whole bit in football is like I'm
Mm.
fine just turning heel immediately and going against someone. It wasn't really a Cressy backing. Granted, yes, he's had some decent results. He played well. He's had some good runs, and it was Jack Sock. It was a Jack Sock fate. Like Goffin should have just wrecked that guy. It was really let him off the hook. And right off the bat, it looked bad too. And then you just kind of need to work like Novocaine. It takes a little while. It always kicks in. Jack Sock drops the third set, 6-2 love. That was a beautiful little result. Got the handicap home. Today, I am fading Maxime Cressy. If you watched any of that match or if you pay attention to tennis, Maxime Cressy does one thing really well, and it's double faulting. He is very, and I shouldn't pick on the whole WTA, but there are a few women, and Alex can throw some names where it's like, Christ, ladies, just try to get the second serve in, huh? What are we doing with this? He has an extremely high double fault rate over the past two matches, of which he is. I mean, even if you go back and look, he won a final in Newport earlier in July with a 13.8% double fault rate against Bublik. Like he won that match. That's what's going on with these. It still went three, but yeah, even against Jack Sock, almost 14% double fault rates. He did hit some nice aces, but some of that was just third set. Jack Sock, I feel like giving up a little. And today he's taking on, I'd say going from Jack Sock to Andrei Rublev, pretty big step up in class. Maybe one of the bigger steps up you could. This is your one seed. It's someone who it dropped out, lost a weird one in Hamburg, but has played pretty well. Has a couple titles this season. Is a top 10 player. Could just truck him. And yeah, if you're double faulting against against Rublev, you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to just get
I'm
breakbacks
gonna
and
have a bad
get
time.
gifts like this. So yeah, Rublev really, really. I was kind of hesitant to back some of these guys that moved off clay, maybe didn't have the best clay seasons altogether. Although it was nice run, quarterfinal run in Roland Garros, and then middling results in Bastad and Hamburg. But coming off the clay, bouncing back to hard court, just trucked Jack Draper like a real routine 6-4, 6-2. I think that's what we see again today. Probably two set win with a double break mixed in. So Bovada had this for even money. And I'm like, oh, I should check one more place. And I go to Bookmaker, plus 130. Or one, it was one way or the other. I think actually Bovada is plus 130. So, yeah, shop around on these. A lot of the places are going to offer -2.5. If you can get the -3 at a big plus number, I like that quite a bit better because I do see this probably having one set where things go real cockeyed for Mr. Cressy. So Rublev -3.5. And just like you said, this one of your matches. Mine is the final in the order of play, although in Washington D.C. that is not nearly as late as the West Coast tournaments of San Jose and Los Cabos. So I don't know, like 6-ish tonight, something like that. The thing about being last in the order of play is the time really doesn't matter. Like, take that time and add an hour.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of unders in Washington, so maybe these go fast, but I don't know. I think we're due for a few longer matches.
You know what more importantly we're due for, Andy? Football. Apparently
Football.
it's been like 5 months and 3 weeks or something. I saw somebody tweeted what the exact days were, but football.
It has been quite a while, and boy, I didn't want to make a bet on this. So I ended up, I'm like, I should just play player props. Ended up playing a prize picks entry. I haven't done prize
Mm.
picks. I've been doing some golf prize picks. I put some of that out. I'll put this out on the timeline too. If you don't have a prize picks account, you can still use promo code BBB and get $100 deposit match. But I did a fun one today. It is golf, football, and baseball. And I won't touch on any of them too long. But Billy Horschel, I have to cheer against him a little bit for one and done reasons, but man, he is just set up to crush this course. And hopefully it comes with him putting poorly because I did take him over 14 greens in regulation. I really have him so high in my driving accuracy, in my short irons. Like, he's really set up to find. I mean, we've seen this on easy courses. 18 greens in regulation happens. Like, that's his ceiling. Hitting all of the greens today. So I think the conditions are fine. We're not going to see heavy winds out there at all this weekend, basically at all, whatsoever. Like, the weather looks like nighttime rain every day, which obviously, Alex, you know what that means. Nice soft greens in the morning. So we could see some really low scores as we go through this week. But Billy Horschel over 14 greens in regulation. I'll leave the football for last. I'll jump to the bottom. Justin Verlander, ever heard of him? Yeah, very good pitcher. So his strikeout total struck me as terribly low, and then I saw who he's playing. Cleveland strikes out the least in the league. A little bit of a surprising team. They're in the race for the AL Central. They didn't do much at the deadline, but they don't strike out all that often. I believe it's just over 7 times per game. But Verlander has faced some of the better strikeout teams in the league, in the Mets, Washington, over the past month or two of his starts, and he's able to reach or eclipse this every time. Over his last 5 starts, he's at least reached 5. He has a 10, a 9. Like, I think you're just getting a cheap number because it is Cleveland, and I think we'll be just fine if Verlander push it worst here. He's been very good, just shoving the last month or so. So Verlander over 5Ks. And yeah, ballsy, Patrick says, to put out preseason lines. Snoop Connor. Ever heard of him?
No.
It's the opposite of that. No, nobody knows.
No, I know of a Snoop, but not a Snoop Connor.
No, it is a whole different guy. He is your third string running back down in Jacksonville. But your first and second stringers are coming back from some injuries last year, and there's a 0.0% chance. And that's not me prognosticating. That's been said. They're not playing. Like, this is your starter. He is gonna mix with get some mixed time with another guy, but he should see a bulk of the carries, especially in the first half. It's hard to take like last year's stats and use it because even on defense, you're facing a lot of backups. But if you want to look at that, Las Vegas was a middle of the road rush defense last year. So over 30.5 yards. This is my first football foray for the year. So Horschel, greens in regulation over 14, Snoop Connor over 30.5 yards, and Verlander over 5 strikeouts. Pays 5-1, baby. And I will be looking for actual Snoop Connor like props. I'll probably bet that as well, but wanted to do a fun prize picks one for a Friday.
I poked around. There's basically just spreads, totals. I haven't seen really too much. We'll see as the day goes on. I wonder if someone on the Stones to open up some touchdown markets and things like that. I don't think we'll get first touchdown score, but certainly not this early. I mean, do you have any opinion at all on the game? Do you think we're going to see anything interesting? I've seen a lot of articles floating around about experts and their opinions on this particular game. Apparently people want to play the under, but I have no idea how to even begin here.
Yeah, if you wanted to play the under, you do it when it opens. For like a dozen years in a row, this opens and it drops to, it drops 3 points. Like if you want to play the under in the preseason Hall of Fame game, you wait for it to open and you bet it. Like you don't do it now once it's dropped down to 30 already, even though 30 probably still hits. But yeah, no interest, high variance game. Obviously, you're missing the starters. You're going to get CJ Beathard playing a bunch of this game. So not high level of offense, but sometimes that can bite you in the ass too with some turnovers or defensive scores. Like, yeah, no interest. Just some player props for me. Maybe a second half play. Maybe a halftime scope. Who knows?
Yeah, two new coaches. Look at the Raiders. They kind of have a lot of older players. I wonder how much we see those guys, and who knows what Dougie P wants to do with the Jags. But we already know, like you said, those running backs aren't playing. It's just not worth it. Can't have Etienne's foot blow up again.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't play these running backs. So I thought Beathard was Jake Luton. I thought Beathard was going to make some appearances. Maybe. Yeah, I'm way off on what we're seeing for quarterbacks. Even I
Luton. Not to be confused with
that's the thing about some of these guys too. Like Slaughter has a chance to play, but he's been with the team for like 6 days. So I mean, there's a good case for some pretty bad offense. But that's the thing about a running back. That's why I went to a running back. It's like it's pretty straightforward, guy. Like you've been a running back since high school. Just here's the play, hit the hole. Hopefully it just works by attrition and he can get there. So rootin' tootin' lootin' in prime time. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm going to watch this because it's football, but I'm not gonna like it.
They have to watch it. It's football.
So all right. Well, thank you to our sponsor, FanDuel. Thank you to Patrick for saying ballsy and rootin' tootin' in the same set of the same chat today. If you watched and you learned anything, hit a thumbs up. If you got dumber, hit a thumbs up. If you are excited for football, hit a thumbs up, and we'll catch you tomorrow for a Friday send off.